day one of the shoot. I got Starburst, and I've had grits, so we're good here. When I first reached out to the Indie Grants about this project, I expected to be told one of two things. The first one was that I was bonkers and that this was not the purpose of the Indie Grants to fund a project like this. And then the other thing I thought I might hear is that the project was really interesting and unique, and luckily they chose the second one. My project Lazzo is an animated short film. More than that, it also uses motion capture, both face and body, to capture the likenesses and the performances of our entire cast of characters. So we did 3 days of body motion capture with the Octopunks system at Trident Tech, and then we did 1 day of facial motion capture at my home studio using the LiveLink technology to capture facial MoCap on an iPhone. And after the actors' performances were captured, the rest of the movie is essentially built and rendered in Unreal Engine 5. Lazzo is a sci-fi rom-com about a trans guy named Lazzo and his android girlfriend as they struggle to exist in the cyberpunk dystopia of 2059 Charleston, South Carolina.
Playing like one-on-one with JJ was super fun, and just like feeling that like connection and just like playing off of each other.
The character of Lazzo actually was born in 2019 when me and JJ Schaeffer came together to just build this kooky, street rat character named Lazzo Fratello for one scene in this feature that we were making together. And even though the feature was a fan film, this original Lazzo character really kind of took off, and people sort of adopted him as a fan favorite character. And so even though we don't make movies in the Detroit universe anymore, we still thought that there was more to do with this character. When I first got the grant, I was a little nervous. I understood a lot of this in theory, but I knew what I didn't know.
This is a highly technical shoot, so there are just things that we had to navigate in that way. But Brianna, our MoCap technician, is an absolute baller.
And then as our performance capture director, I was able to hire Neil Newbon, who has been nominated for a BAFTA for his work in performance capture. He's been in the industry for over 10 years. I was expecting it to kind of be a relationship where, I was basically just asking him for help constantly, and he would, sort of have to lead things along in all the ways that I didn't know what I was doing. What ended up happening is that I would have ideas and I would have instincts towards certain things, and he would support them. He would basically be like, yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Well, and the idea that I had right before you started to come together was maybe we just need to force them to make more eye contact.
Yeah, it was literally what I was going to tell you. Yeah, exactly, yeah. And he just did it anyway, and you're like, God. Psychic directing.
Yes.
That was cool.
Joe, day one, how do you feel?
Pretty good. I think we did good.
Not bad for you.
Drinking, not neglecting to make
Pretty
sure.
good, yeah. Pretty good day for MoCap.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, even with a few technical hiccups, which is completely normal, quite frankly, for MoCap, it was very smooth. And it was interesting to see the actors pick up a lot about the familiarity of the place, getting used to the place, especially because it's a small volume. But it was great to see them really just get comfortable with the scenes.
Another thing that's kind of unique about this project is that we basically combined forces to take over the spring 2024 animation practicum. So for an entire semester, I sort of project managed 16 seniors in the animation program, and they each had a job to do on the film.
I am a student here at Trident. I'm going to be graduating this summer and then transferring to USC Beaufort for my bachelor's. I have been designing environments, keeping everything relatively human scale. I even had the idea to put these little lights down there because I think that's something that Charleston would do in kind of their fancier sections, is just put lights down so it looks all pretty at night.
So that was a really big help to have the students come in and be responsible for a lot of our unique props and costumes and set pieces and such that could not be achieved through prefabricated assets. Unreal Engine is typically a game engine, but there are some features that I'm utilizing for this project that elevate it a little bit more, and path tracing is probably the biggest such tool. It essentially takes what would normally be a pretty nice looking render of a character, but maybe still looks a little video gamey, and turns it into something that is borderline photorealistic. And even with a top of the line graphics card as I have now, it still takes anywhere between 1 to 5 minutes to render every single frame of the film. But I do think that the results are worth it, because for a long time I was kind of worried that it was not going to look the way that I wanted it to. I've been in post for this movie for about 11 months now, which is very, very long for a short. But I'm still learning, every day. I try to remind myself that this was always a little bit of an experiment, always a little bit of a learning process. And while, I was managing these 16 students in the practicum, I myself am very much still a student of this too. But regardless of when it's finished, I'm really just excited that people are going to get to see Lazzo again and to see me evolve as a filmmaker into a medium that I haven't gotten to explore before, and that I can hopefully continue to explore in the future.